Call this meeting to order, July 17th, 2019 at 7 p.m.
And I would like to make a motion to approve the minutes from July 10th.
We have both regular and executive session minutes. We will not be releasing the executive session, just approving.
I will second that motion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
I don't have any announcements or scheduled appointments this evening for you.
Okay.
Under new business, the special town meeting warrant. In your packet is you each have a copy of the special town meeting warrant for signature, just to update you on what is different. The one that's for signature, the article heading where it says Article 1, it has in capital letters after that a title. So that's the one that's for signature. So we have 3 copies here. You each have one, and I have the third one, which would have been Terry's if we were here, but I'm just going to hold on to this. What's different from this one is that the article regarding the Finance Committee and the article regarding the 2/3 vote, I've withdrawn those 2 articles. And I've added the article that I mentioned the other night. There were 2 articles that the town accountant requested, which are added at the end now as Articles 6 and 7. Article 6 creates a cable access receipts reserve for appropriation account, and Article 7 will allow us to appropriate a sum of money from that account for the cable service, the cable Channel 99, our service, not Comcast, but what we do, Channel 99. And this is to bring us into compliance with the Department of Revenue's requirement that we not hold the cable receipts in a regular account, but that they be held in a receipts reserve or appropriation account to make sure that they get interest every year, and then that the operating costs be appropriated out of that account at the annual town meeting, similar to what we do with the ambulance fund. As the money comes in, the Comcast pays us a fee every year. The money goes into this account. It gains interest. At annual meeting, we would be voting that appropriation out. So those 2, so 2 out. The 2 that I put in are out off the list. These 2 are added to. Other than that, it's the same warrant you saw the other night.
The Cemetery Commission's article is out. Did you mention that one?
Withdrawn.
Okay. And was there supposed to be one for Worcester Retirement? That had never came in.
No.
It was mentioned, but we never...
It was going to be added into the number here.
Right. Oh, right, it was going to be added on to
we'll
Article
just
2.
amend it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, we'll just amend to add that as well.
Okay. If we need it at town meeting, it's going to be amended?
We'll have
Okay.
the amended number there and just add it. And add that number.
Okay.
Clear as mud.
So I was going to ask you, the other thing I wanted to do is ask you both to approve the warrant, but also for the select board, and we'll ask tomorrow night the Finance Committee to make recommendations, which will go into our voter information packet, which I'm working on. This is something we talked about after the last meeting, and that will be available next week for people.
So do you want just a simple recommendation, or do you want comments? What are you looking for in your recommendation?
Just a recommendation.
Okay.
You know, if the board is recommending it or not recommending it, 2-0 or whatever.
Okay.
3-0, whatever it is.
Okay.
If you feel like making more comments than that, that's fine. I'll put it in.
Right.
To the back.
Yeah. Tom?
Before you approve the warrant, I personally would like to ask the selectmen if they would also remove the article on the marijuana stuff. Personally, I thought it was quite evident that it might be better handled by the planning board. They could go into it at quite a bit detail. They also had a point, Bernie had a point in the sense that it should be something that's voted by all the people at a regular town meeting, which would give the planning board enough time to come up with something maybe as good, if not better. And personally, I think it would behoove the townsfolk and be to their benefit to also pull that article on the marijuana. I think the lady that was here who proposed that, or at least came to the selectmen and asked about it, I think she would be just as happy to know that it's going to be addressed and that there will be checks and balances on it. I'm quite sure the planning board will do a phenomenal job like they did in redoing all the
Did she provide a petition?
Excuse me?
Did she provide?
No,
Oh.
no. She had come and spoken, and we said we would put it on the next special town meeting. What do you have a comment on that, John? Being
I would
from the
suggest
planning
you
board.
just go through the articles and.
Okay,
Sure.
okay, okay. All right then. Anything else from anyone? Oh, Jim?
I missed it. What were the two proposed articles?
The
that were
two-
removed?
Oh,
One was to address potential conflicts of interest on the finance committee. The other one was recommended by town council to allow the moderator to simply make a call on two-thirds votes as well as majority votes.
Who proposed those articles?
I did on the finance committee conflict of interest article, and town council recommended to me the other one.
the cemetery, and the cemetery commission article has also been,
And the cemetery
Pulled.
commission article proposed.
They pulled it.
A $1,268 appropriation, which they withdrew.
okay?
You okay?
Anyone else? No, okay.
Things can turn around so quick.
Okay, so, Article 1, to amend the Narragansett Regional School District Agreement. Recommend?
Oh, yeah. What?
First of all, in or out? Keep on the warrant? Or-
Yes.
Okay.
On the warrant.
I think it'd
Do we,
stay.
do you want a motion for each one? We don't have to go, do we have?
No, if it's going
okay.
to stay
No.
on, that's fine.
Okay.
Anything that's coming off, I will have to go down to town hall
I
and
know.
then reprint this, and
I know.
we'll have to remove it.
Okay. So we recommend Article 1? Yes? Okay. Article 2, to make certain revised appropriations to the FY20 operating funds. One was the highway payroll, and one was the library payroll. Keep on? Yes? No?
Oh, yes, definitely. I mean,
Yes.
this is kind of like a
Yep.
common sense.
So we recommend that one?
Yes.
Okay, Article 3, to limit the number of marijuana establishments in the town.
And this is to what Tom was speaking.
Yes.
And I do know that the planning board feels the same as what Tom is saying.
I would say the majority of the people at the public hearing also.
It
Felt
seemed to
that
go
way.
that way
Yes, yes.
while I was here. So I would recommend this.
To recommend it to
Oh, I'm sorry,
stay on or to
no,
pull it?
No, we decided the majority of people thought we should leave it to the planning.
That was my
board.
feeling. What
Right.
did you think, Kevin? Did
If you want to remove it, that's fine, but I need the two of you then to follow me back to town hall, and we need to reprint this
Yep.
with that.
Okay. So what's your, what
Or
would
you
you
can
like
leave
to
it in
do?
the town meeting and you can pass
I
over to town
mean,
meeting.
that might be just as easy to leave it and pass over it.
Is that what you like to do?
Yes.
Okay. So we'll recommend.
Okay.
And then you recommend to pass over.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't want to string it
Yeah.
out, unless
Yeah.
there's going to be
Yeah.
more.
Okay.
Okay, Article 4, to petition the general court for special legislation providing for recall of elected members of the Narragansett Regional School District Committee. I would leave this on. I do have questions as to whether where it's mentioning Templeton, whether we need to have Templeton needs this, if it should be in the agreement. I don't know. Those are questions for town council that we can ask at the special town meeting.
Sure. No,
But I recommend
I
it.
recommend
So you would
Please
keep it and
keep
you
it on.
recommend it?
Yes.
Okay.
Are we on Article 5? Yes. To direct the select board to obtain an agreement from Templeton regarding Phillipston Elementary School students. This was a request from a resident. Town council did say this was non-binding. Yes?
His feeling was that this is more in the nature of a referendum, and
Mm.
it's not enforceable as, a legal document kind of thing, or a legal directive.
I would recommend leaving it.
Okay. I know the first part of it is covered under the regional agreement, and the second part kind of negates part of Article 1, but we can leave it on there.
Okay, leave it on.
Those
and
are just
then
my
your
comments on it.
recommendation would be to adopt it, pass over the article.
Well, I think often it's come up whether or not we want it to go in on the building with Templeton, and we've always voted, no, we do not want to. I say leave it and let the people speak
Okay.
again.
No recommendation?
No recommendation? Yeah, I'd say no recommendation, that's good. Article 6, to create a cable access receipts reserved for appropriation account. And this I would recommend leave on.
I would agree with that.
And you recommend adopt it or not adopt?
Adopt it.
Oh, yeah.
And
the last article?
Article 7, to set the Phillipston Cable TV Committee budget, I would recommend to leave this on and adopt it.
I agree. I would say the same. I think it's time we
Sign the warrant.
have a little more.
Oh, so we need a motion for that.
Yeah, I would make a motion that we sign this warrant, and I believe we would need to be finalized with comments from the Finance Committee, or?
The
Oh, you're gonna
information
add,
packet
right,
We will
right,
add
right.
in a week later.
Yeah, so I would make a motion that we sign.
Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
So I sign this one.
I
and
think
you're gonna
Kevin
sign?
has the official one
Is
he
yours
wants us
three?
to
Actually,
sign.
there's 3 of them, so I'm going to ask you.
You want all 3 of these as two?
All 3 of them, yes.
Okay.
Your 2 and that one.
Okay.
We get 3 copies to post. And Ron's going to show up about.
Who?
Craig, there's your license. No. Yes, you came in so quietly. Right, right here.
Hey, Craig.
Leave it so you can see. So this has 2, goes to you.
Oops, I'm sorry.
Why do you get to give me this back?
Okay, next on the agenda, goals and objectives for FY20. In your packet, I provided you the goals and objectives the board adopted for the last couple of years, just as some guidance. And in my notes to you, when I was emailing out the agenda, I asked you to give some thought to some things that you'd like to add on to goals and objectives for this year. So,
I've got
your
my
thoughts.
list.
Your thoughts, your list.
Do you have a list, John?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I thought this was a good list. I think some of this was,
Some of it's been done.
and been it was our intention to get through these. That's why they're objectives.
So, I have a list. So I wouldn't forget any of them. So obviously, we'll keep working on policies and hopefully can finish the personnel policy. First, I would like a policy on annual town meeting and special town meeting procedures, hopefully before we have any more meetings. We need to start talking about the fire department. Chief Duguay is on very limited hours now, so we need to figure that out. We've been wanting to work on a long-term capital plan for a few years. And then building maintenance projects. I believe it was Mr. Bramhall who scolded us at town meeting. Paint town hall, fix the steps, continue to work on renovating the upstairs of town hall, and I think we need to start replacing the heaters in the school before winter.
No,
That's it for now.
Those are good additions.
just to follow up on the town hall piece, well, we do have money for the steps, and we
Right.
have money for painting the
Right.
town hall. We're waiting on the steps till they finish the project.
Right.
Because we don't want to do too
Right.
much on it.
Right.
But I had a meeting today with a representative from Mass Historic, who we were awarded money for getting some architectural
Yep.
designs for the next step on
Yep.
it. She was very excited with the project. I can't get over it. In the past, I was always told that the Mass Historic people, that it could be very difficult to get money from Mass Historic. But two different people have come out here from Mass Historic, and they've both been very excited by our town hall, and both have encouraged us to submit and come back for more money. And she was doing the same thing today. So she was saying, you know, we might be able to give you some more money for the building. Don't tell anybody.
And you're telling them.
Yeah.
No, that's good to hear.
So that was very good news.
Yeah.
And that she was very interested in the building and very excited with it. Took a lot of pictures. Went up in the attic and poked through all the different things that was up there. Very excited about some of the things, the old shutters and the window sash and things that we had saved over the years, and the fact that we had those there that we might be able to duplicate or to replace over time. So yes, they were very interested in investing. So when the time comes that we want to do more work in the building, we're talking next up is doing the auditorium and some of that.
Right.
But they were very positive about further investments in the building. So
That's
that's
good.
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 to
Good.
hear.
Well, I think they see it's a good building.
Yes, she said it's, she noticed
And a good
that.
common.
And the contractors have noticed that too, that the building is very square, that it's upright, it was well-built, and that it's maintained that. It is not lean, there's no lean in it, the roof line is square when you look at it, and in so many older buildings, they sort of start getting a little
Yeah.
tired and leaning one way or the other. And our building is very sound that way. All the pieces are still tight together. When they opened the walls, all the joints were very tight together. They haven't opened, so which is good sign. So.
Opal, did you want to say something about the upstairs?
No.
Oh, upstairs,
You
you,
looked like
No, she doesn't.
you just looked like you had something to
I've got-
say.
I've got things that, yes, I'd like to go with you people up there. Maybe one or two other people, I don't know who he's been with up there. But I have some suggestions that I think there's too much weight up there to begin with.
There is.
And that can be alleviated, and I know how that can be done. And some things don't ever take them out of there. It's the only record we have of them.
Mhm.
It's the only record we have of some of those things. And in the past, I know, that I'm working with a couple of other people, and we, in the past, had gone up there with permission and gone through some of the things and found records that they are nowhere else in this town.
Mm-hmm.
And they need to be preserved. They really do.
Well, that's our goal, is to restore it.
And even going, I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it anyway.
Say it.
Going from the second floor up to the attic. I think there must be some money in the town hall account where you can put a rail so people can hold on going, no.
No, I'm sorry. I've
There
never
is
been
no
up in the attic.
handrail.
Mm,
There's no
yeah.
handrail going up to the
No, it's a good idea.
floor.
Yep,
And it's,
that should be
coming
easy
into any
enough to
building,
do.
you have a handrail.
Mhm.
Yep.
At the front you do, but going up there, you're on your own. Last time I went up there, I had to sit down to come down out of the attic,
Mm-hmm.
one step at a time, simply because there's nothing to hold on to.
They didn't have building codes back then. They didn't have building codes back then.
What, 1891? You're kidding? That's when it was built.
I
And that's why it was essential that we
In fact, there was a
become
point
legal
when-
to get up
when they
there to
wanted
the
to
second
put-
floor.
Of course, I've been in and out of there a lot, and there was a time that we wanted to put insulation in there, and there was one person in town that said, well, we'll buy the insulation and have Opal blow it in there.
Was that you, Tom?
Maybe for the room type then.
Well, on that, we will let you know when we're going up there. How's that?
Okay, I think it would be good to go as a group and, but not
too
many
much weight,
people, because too much weight up there
There
now.
is. There is a
Right,
lot of weight
right.
up there, and there is a lot of weight up there, and the contractors and the engineers have all remarked about how much weight is being held up there with
And a
concern.
lot of it doesn't have to be there.
That's right.
It can go elsewhere if you want to save it. Some of it doesn't even need to be saved, but some does.
Yes.
Some really does,
Yeah.
because it's the only record that we have in this town.
Yep.
Right. That-
Well, when the
something to
weather
take
is
care of.
not quite so hot, because it gets very warm up there. When the weather's a little cooler,
Yeah,
maybe
it
in the
gets real
fall.
cold in the winter.
Well, I'm
Yeah,
thinking
you
maybe
can
in
put a
September
jacket
when
on.
it's a little cooler,
To stay
You can go up.
stay out of the middle of it.
Yeah.
Don't walk on that.
right, where the hatch is.
Yeah. But,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll let you know.
you want to know, I have ideas.
Okay.
Good.
We'll talk.
And I think you know this, that we were successful in getting that grant for the regionalization or recommendations where we could share services with Templeton in the fire department. And they had their first meeting, and it was just, this group is doing a study and would feed us with information.
Yeah.
And I think with that information, we could step forward. I'm not saying we would regionalize the fire department, but there is progress on that, and,
Yeah. Oh, you're going back to the fire department.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because you had mentioned that.
Right, right. I don't
So
know when
we
that's
have
going, I don't know
started.
when that's going to be done, though, so maybe we can,
Late in the
we
fall,
can,
but before budget season.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's,
okay.
it's moving.
all right, okay.
Um,
That's it for me.
I might say if there are some records that we are preserving in the historical building, the old Methodist church,
Mhm. Right there.
not there. And we're having open house this coming Saturday, the
Yep.
whole day. And I know someone from out of town stopped in this past week and made the comment, you have a better record keeping here than what we do in our town, which has many more residents. And that person stated that right there, you know. And I thought, well, we need to keep them too,
Yep.
whether in the town hall or
Right.
I had to go to another state to get the first book of this town. I got it. Yeah, you know. I know.
And we thank you for your service.
Hmm?
We thank you for your service.
Oh. I did it. And I'm glad I did.
I know.
And it now is in the big safe there. That's another weight.
Okay. We'll move on. Thank you.
In your packets is, I put together the Select Board's meeting schedule for the coming year. I thought it would be useful to have, just to post on your calendar.
Yep.
None of our meetings will fall on a holiday except January 1st would be the normal meeting day, January 1st, 2020. So we'll be meeting on January 2nd. Otherwise, we don't have any conflicts with holidays. Annual town meeting this coming year will be on May 6th. Annual town elections will be May 18th.
Okay.
So we will get that on the town website.
No, it's good. And I like that, even though we're not every week, we are available to meet every week.
Obviously.
I know, we've been doing it. I mean, it sort of was always that way.
I know.
Well, it was always that way.
Yeah.
Even when we would take, like, the summer, every other
Every other,
week.
yep.
yeah.
Well, and if we need to do a workshop or something. then-
Right, we have that off.
No, it's-
Yep.
I think the whole thing has been working well.
I don't have any supplemental appointments for you this evening. I do have Chief Dodge here with us. The chief is asking for an adjustment in the police detail rates, and in your packet is a survey that he put together of surrounding communities and their police department detail rates as of July 10th. You can see they average out to 48.89. And Chief?
Yeah, just to keep it easy now, we were requesting that we could set our rate from 44 to 48. Look at some of the towns around us are almost 51, some are 52, 47. We're at the low end of 40. And we only say that it's not a money grab, it's more to keep us competitive with the other towns. Because if we have a big project, like we had the Phillipston Road project a couple of years ago, a lot of times we have to rely on outside officers from other agencies. And sadly, other agencies, they will chase the dollar, but to keep us so where we have a pool of officers that we can select from, it just keeps us kind of in the middle of the road with everybody else.
So your current rate is about 44?
It is 44.
And just so everybody knows, that's paid by
The-
whoever is doing the work?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay.
Right, so it has minimal impact on our budget,
Correct. And in working.
if any at all.
In working with Kelly and Lynn, we came to realize this a year ago, so for so many years, when voting polls, it was always a detail rate, but we learned there's, the way it reads in the law, you look at other communities, they use an officer and they can get time and a half of their full-time rate. So now, to do the voting polls, a lot of times I will do them because Karen saves that money. She doesn't have to pay out detail rate or pay for an officer because I'm salary, so it's a win for Karen. So she saves that.
Oprah?
Does Mass DOT, do they let you know when they're working on 2A? For detail?
If it's gonna be a project, yeah, they'll either call us or state police.
Because they were out there today, right up at Watson's Corner, and that was brutal.
Yeah, we saw signs this afternoon. We went up through there and they weren't there. I believe they were either doing site azimuths or measurements for whatever reason, but if you notice the signs, it said it was a moving operation. It was just a few spots. We've always encouraged them, when you have a bad corner or something like that, if it's gonna be 10 minutes, call patrol officer. We'll donate our time for something like that. But if it's gonna be an all-day project, well, obviously, then we have to commit an officer to it.
Oh, around noontime, they had 3 pieces of apparatus right on the road, and of course, there are guardrails on both sides there at Watson's Corner, and you couldn't even see the traffic coming. I put my flashers on and got the traffic to move so that we could get through a whole line, and I wondered if they even let you know they were out there.
No, we weren't aware of that. We saw this, like I said, we saw the signs this afternoon,
Yeah,
and
it was-
somebody had said that they saw a state police cruiser with them, and where it's.
They were mowing, there was a
They
state
have every
police
right to go
cruiser.
state police because it is a state-maintained road before they would go to us.
That was Mass DOT. It was labeled, so I knew who it was. But I put my flashers on to get us all through there.
Tom?
I just want to mention, I went by there twice, and like a good state operation, there was 2 vehicles behind a tractor with one of those mowers on the arm. And I also noticed coming out of Lake Corner Road on the 2A, that they did a tremendous job of taking down all the trees and rubbish and whatever was growing there. So you had a good line of sight without almost pulling out onto Route 2A to see what's coming down.
I know the FLDPW pit, the superintendent over there, he's great to work with, but again, you know, if it's that state-maintained road, they're gonna use state police. If they're not available, then they would contact us. And that relationship is solid, so I don't doubt their intent of what they were doing.
Okay. Do you want to make a motion?
Yeah, I would make a motion that we bring the detail rate up to a marketable
48.
48. Sounds good, sounds reasonable.
I'll second that. Is there any discussion from anyone? Care?
I don't think that's high enough. I think it should go higher. I couldn't stand out on the edge of the road like these guys do, and breathe all the fumes and deal with all the idiot drivers like myself out there. So, I'd be willing to say, go to 50 and be done with it.
Well, I appreciate that. I would never, the board knows me and everyone knows the guys on the department. It's not about that. You know, we just want to be balanced in the middle of the road. I know Orange, they unanimously voted 52, and, you know, Royalston and Winchendon, it's, again, it's entirely up to the board, but I just want you to know where we're coming from. We're not being at the middle of the road. If you thought that's appropriate, we certainly understand and honor that as well. So,
Right. No, I agree with Gerhard. I believe that that's what, we're going by your recommendation, that you think that's a good number.
yeah. And again, we've always done it in that way, to be fair, not to go over and above, several other towns. We did the average, and we thought that 48 was appropriate, and, not too low and not too high.
So I think we've made a motion at that 48, so just vote.
Unless we'd like to amend it. Do you want to amend it?
At this point, I don't see any reason to.
Okay. So
I mean, we can do it next year.
motion is made and seconded to set the detail rate at $48. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. So moved.
We've had so many meetings recently, I think we're pretty well caught up on everything else. Except just to remind, so I'm going to skip down just to remind everyone that we have the coming meetings. Pre-town meeting is a week from tonight here at 7 o'clock at the fire station. That's where we run through the articles and answer the questions that the public may have. The select board will meet at 6:30, just before the special town meeting, at the elementary school gymnasium. And the special town meeting will begin at 7. That's on July 31st, Wednesday, July 31st, at 7 o'clock at the elementary school gymnasium. So the select board gets together a half hour ahead of time in case there's anything we need to go over.
It's on the 31st? we're
Right.
doing
On the
6:30?
31st.
Next week is 7 o'clock here.
Next week is 7 o'clock
Right.
here for the pre-town. The special town meeting is 7 o'clock the following week. The select board the following week will be getting together a little earlier, 6:30, so that if there's any last minute things they need to vote on or warrants to sign or anything like that, that can be handled at that point because that's also a regular meeting day for
Right.
the select board.
Yep.
So we can take care of those things. Other than that, good news.
That's all we hear.
Brief
done?
meeting on a warm night, so.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not pouring.
Opal,
So-
you had something you wanted to add?
Department head reports, is there anything
Oh.
on the lower cemetery, the valley cemetery, getting rid of that problem?
Well, that's why Gary had pulled the article, because the cemetery workers did put down some, spread some loam, and they put out some seed, and it's coming up all right. So that's what they needed. They had paid for the treatment.
So they got the money to do it?
They did it themselves.
They had taken
They've
care of
already
it
taken
within,
their budget.
Within their
Yeah,
budget?
yeah.
Oh,
They're
great.
all set, so they're all set. Yep.
that's why that one was
I'm just
withdrawn.
trying to figure out
They
what
withdrew.
what it was down there.
Grubs.
Do I need to spray my lawn?
Oh,
No,
no.
Okay.
Very local.
I think it's lush up there.
I just have
So that's taken care of.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I just have one question before we stop, and I'll come up front just so I'm on camera, so it's fair. I was just curious, I know that Kevin had spoken with the select board in Petersham about forming possibly an elementary regional superintendent choosing with the two towns. Just wondering if those conversations are ongoing, and if there are, is there any updates? If they're not, are we still planning on discussing with them? Because I know that they're very interested in speaking with us about the possibilities.
There was a break because of the holiday. We have not scheduled a date to get together since then. If the board would like me to get back together with them, I'm happy to do that. I know they would like to speak with us. What's your pleasure?
So, well, we can certainly do that, but I'm not aware of anything that's been going on, so if we could meet and talk about that first. But yeah, we can certainly
Okay.
proceed.
It was very preliminary, just to
Yeah,
think
yeah,
about
no,
that
hey,
conversation.
the more conversations we have, the better.
Okay. So would you like me to schedule a time? Would you like me to go over and talk with them or not and gather information?
Yes,
Okay.
I mean, that's fine with me.
Okay.
Sure.
You do that. Other than that, we're all set then.
Okay.
Tommy,
He doesn't want to leave.
he never does.
Me too. One quick second, there's been a lot of chatter on that whole thing, and, people, oh, well, you pull out the K through 5, we're not, the bottom line is, we're not looking to save money, the first word out of their mouth, well, you're not gonna save any money, and this and that and the other thing, and you'll probably pay more money. They're missing the point in terms of the issue. The issue is to have the town of Phillipston in control of our school and in control of where our kids go. And that's the bottom line. And if it means for us to team up with Petersham and share expenses, then so be it. I just think people are losing sight of, you know, what's really going on in the bottom line objective. I mean, I suppose if we had regional agreements that reflected it very strongly, then maybe we might not be thinking so much of looking for that bottom line control over our school and the bottom line control over where our kids go to school. But right now, it just seems like that's not gonna happen. Hopefully, we'll pass the Roos article, and hopefully Templeton will pick up on it, and they pass the article, and then that, at least, to the regional agreement that's in play right now, that's 20 or more years old, that would be something that people could take to the bank and then say, well, we're all set. But we're not looking to save money. It might even cost us a little more money. Between the override and what our appropriation to Narragansett is almost $2 million, give or take. And it might be, from what I've heard from Petersham, or I think it was Kevin gave me the figure, they're paying roughly $2 million, give or take, to be in charge of their own school. So that would be a wash. We pull out, we go with them, we share negotiations, we share administrators, I mean, the list just goes on, share supplies, share expenses. People are losing sight of the bottom line objective. And I've seen it on the Phillipston Templeton rag there.
Oh,
Well,
I
see,
was
that's
wondering
if
where
you
you're
follow
talking
that.
about.
I don't follow all that.
I don't
So all
either.
I can say is there's a lot of fact gathering to take place.
Right.
And once we accumulate all our facts, we'll see where everything stands.
Right, as, you know, having Kevin pursue that. And, I mean, regionalizing is a great thing to do, but you can't just sit back, like I mentioned in one of the previous meetings, with the dispatch. The state came out and said, hey, we want you to stay in a region, you know.
Yep.
And what happened was a dialogue was opened up, and now we have,
And it got better.
right. But if you just sit back and let things just go flying by, nothing ever improves.
Okay.
So, if there's nothing more, I would make a motion to adjourn.
I will second that. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
So moved. Meeting adjourned.